sir. Welcome to Hobby Talk. I'm your guy, Dr. Collectible, as your host. And this week episode, I got the chance to speak with Evan Parker, which is CEO of Mantel. You haven't heard of Mantel? You need to check it out. This platform will remind you of Reddit and social media all at the same time, but straight for collectibles. And if you're looking to utilize the platform, I'm hearing they coming out with an app maybe sometime December. So that's something to look out on. But before we get to that interview with Evan Parker, I want to say big shout out to my sponsors. They already know who they are. If you've been tuning in every week, Pristine Auction, I love what y'all do. Platform is incredible. And also, make sure to utilize that code Hobby Talk to get $10 off your first purchase. Guys, let's get into this interview with Evan Parker. Let's get it. What's going on there, everybody? It's your boy the Doc, and you're tuned in to Hobby Talk. This week, I have a dope individual that's in the hobby. When I look at it, he took everything from what it was like in my thought process or in my mind. He takes media, content, clothing. He it is all in one wop. Guys, I want to introduce y'all to Evan Parker, also the owner of Mantel, man. How you doing, brother?
Appreciate you having me on, man. It's really fun to catch up and talk, and I love that you're wearing the lid like always. Love seeing that on you.
Yeah, man. Merch, to me personally, that was one of the first things I was thinking about when I first got into hobby and create my own identity was merch. I think merch is a big thing. I see you wearing the dad cap. For me, I'm wearing the snapback, as you can see. And I have another hat as well, but also, you're talking about ripping packs. I was ripping packs, mantle packs at the National. You're talking about clothing, not only that media. I see what you're doing with, I believe that's Hoop Nation, if I'm not
Mm-hmm.
mistaken.
Yeah.
Been partnering and collabing with them. So, but before we get to that, let the people know who is Evan Parker as a person and as a collector.
No, yeah, I appreciate it. So I'm the CEO of Mantel, which is a community and content platform for collectors. Think about it like Reddit meets Instagram, but only about collecting, about the hobby, sports cards, watches, comic book toys, things like that. And I'm a lifelong collector, and I'm a lifelong sport. I've been working in the sports industry my whole career, and so this was like a perfect opportunity to take everything that I've done when I was working at NASCAR, where I was working at the Athletic, and bring it together with the passions that I have when I'm not working, which is collecting sports cards and toys and things like that. So it's kind of like the perfect way to spend my day. Although I will say that now that I'm doing this for the career, I end up spending a lot of the paycheck on stuff that's like it's like going from one pocket to the next.
Yeah.
It's tough. You know it too when you're like working in the hobby and you're spending your money in the hobby. It's like this vicious cycle, but I love it.
Yeah, that cycle that you're talking about keeps my adrenaline pumping. It keeps me
Yeah.
fueled to have something new going on in the day, whether if it's business related, content related. Hell, you talking about even merch.
Hmm.
You want to stay active. I know for you being the CEO of Mantle, you wake up and you go to your baby and you like, what can I do to help elevate the
Yep.
business? For you, I see you around I think the last time we seen each other was at the National, and even before that, I got to see you at Rizzo Sports. Which
Hmm.
that's when I talked about like, yo, I need some more merch, and he's
Hmm.
like, yo, I got you. So since then, I want to ask like your mindset for Mantle, and could you explain to the viewers what is Mantle all about?
Absolutely. So it's a free platform. As I said, it's like it's Reddit meets Instagram, but only for collectors. And so it's not where you're going to go and see stuff about politics and war and religion and whatever. It is like it's people talking about sports cards, talking about toys, talking about comic books, talking about TCG. We thought in building it that there's kind of a lack of places that you can have these conversations that aren't on mainstream social media. And if you go to Instagram, if you go to Reddit, you go to Twitter, wherever, you can talk about the hobby. People do it all the time. You've got a lot of content that you put out through those channels.
Yes, sir.
But you're always competing against everything else going on in the world, and it's you're talking to people who may not care about the hobby at all because it's broad social media. You're dealing with the algorithm. Whatever Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk want you to see is what you're going to see before the things that maybe you want to see. And if you want to just escape, if you want to be able to just go and focus on the things that you love most, you don't really have that opportunity because the those sites are going to put things in front of you that they think that you're going to want to see, and that's kind of the world. And we just thought that there was a better way to do it. And people who collect, it's such a big part of their personality. You know, people talk about the collecting gene. It's something that's kind of core to people who are interested in this world.
Yep.
And sometimes you just want to escape and hang out with the people who like the same things that you like, or kind of go deeper down the rabbit hole. And we didn't think that there was a great place to do it. And we thought we had an opportunity to build something that was better, that people could spend a lot of time on, really kind of like lose themselves in the things that they love and find other people who share similar passions.
I love that. That so to let the viewers know, the way you broke it down, it's like you created Mantle for like a hub for
Right.
collectors, like
Yeah.
a space, a safe space for us as well to be able to always stay connected with collecting.
Totally. Yeah.
Because, like you said, the internet, YouTube,
It's a dark place.
Insta, man, I'll be looking at hobby content 1 second, and then all of a sudden I get transferred to something different.
Yeah.
Even a text message can change the course of a day, yet
Absolutely.
along alerts.
Yeah, no, I think that completely, and we wanted to create something. You said it; it's sort of the hub, right? Like, we're not
Hmm.
trying to compete with eBay. We're not trying to compete with Golden or Fanatics or anybody like that. We want to be symbiotic. We want to sort of be like it's Switzerland of the hobby,
Yeah.
where everybody, doesn't matter what you're interested in, it doesn't matter what businesses you run, if you sell on your own, if you're somebody who collects for your PC, if you're somebody who flips, if you're a breaker, it doesn't matter. This is a place that you can go and you can do research, you could talk to people, you could share the things that you just got. You could just interact with people in different ways. And the way I always describe it, the other social networks are trying to build for the masses, right? And so
Hmm.
Elon's never going to create anything that makes collecting easier. Zuckerberg's never going to create anything that makes collecting easier because they're trying to talk to billions of people around the world. At Mantle, the only person that we're trying to talk to is a collector. And at the end of the day, we can build things specifically for people like you and me, and people like everybody who's going to be watching this, because we know that the way that people who are collectors interact, we know what they care about, we know what they're trying to be doing on a day-to-day basis, and we're building it with collectors. Everybody on the team is a collector, which I think goes without saying. But beyond that, every person who's on Mantle is giving us feedback all the time, telling us what they
Hmm.
wish that we did, telling us what they don't like, telling us, can you change this? Can you make this better? It'd be cool if you added this. And so little by little, we're creating something that really is representative of the way people collect and the way that people who are in the hobby like to interact and like to research, like to hang out. There are other places that do similar things from like a forum standpoint that we
Hmm.
get a lot of value out of. I read the forums all the time too, but it's old technology, it's rented technology. They're not building it themselves. And so we just thought that there was a better way to do it. And, we're working our asses off to make it work. And we're working every day to try to build something that people really love. We've been at it since February. Right now, we've had a website since February. We got the mobile app that's going to be coming, in early December. So
Yeah.
you and I are talking. I don't know the exact date that this is going to hit, but somewhere second week
Hmm.
of December, that app's going to be in the App Store and in the Google Play Store. And that's going to be a game changer for us because it's going to give people that ability to pick up their phone and see our icon on their home screen and click in and just can't go and hang out with their friends and talk about cards.
I love how you explain that towards the end. To be able to go on my phone and look on that home screen and see that logo there. That
Yeah,
that right there means a lot. I tried to do the app portion before when I did this before I got into collectible. I was
yeah,
dancing and acting and create an app for as like it dealt with me being a dancer, but it helped me get gigs.
I'm
It helped
sure.
me be able to find people to find me with content, things of that nature. It was just basically one networking hub for
Hmm.
dancers. So I like when you break that down. First of all, I don't think there's no platform like Mantle right now. Um, I think y'all doing a great job because now I want to say maybe a month ago I seen my father send me a text about Mantle. He was like, "Yo, ain't that the hat that you?"
Oh, really?
I,
I love that. Right.
trying to make that connection.
I
Just
love
and
that.
like I say, even with
Yeah.
me, to people to see the hat and realize, okay, I'm gonna be honest, the hat, the branding first off is like lifestyle brand. This is what I mean by separating yourself from everyone else in a hobby. Not just being a brand, but becoming a lifestyle brand. I should be
Yeah.
able to wear this hat every day. Even if it ain't about collecting. Some
Totally.
most people probably like, yo, that's dope.
And
That's
that's why we did
fresh.
it that way, right? Like I kind of got sick of seeing things that just felt not just in the hobby, but in business overall. If people create merch that feels like it's something that you're gonna put in the back of your closet or throw away,
A
and
uniform.
there's no value to it. And we wanted to build something that people wanted to represent, that people wanted to wear, that people wanted to be a part of and feel connected to. This guy Adrian Guzman, who's Adrian is a really dope designer. I worked with him at the Athletic. He works for LeBron now,
Nice.
over at Undefeated and Spring Hill, and he did the logo and he did the art for it. And we wanted to create something. When he and I were in the earliest days trying to figure this out, when the name was created, when the logo was created, it's like what are people going to want to wear, and what's going to look more like, and you said it, more like a lifestyle brand than a
Mm-hmm.
social media company or something in the hobby. And what are people going to wear? And I want somebody to see that on your head and say, what is that? Not like, oh, Doc's wearing something from Salesforce or Google or whatever, but he's wearing something that anybody could wear and want to represent.
Yes.
And that's the goal. I mean, I want to, I look at this stuff and like, we could create a whole clothing line. We're not doing that because we're trying to build the app and we don't have that much time and energy. But I love that we're creating a brand that has the ability to transcend the actual the product that we're building, the digital product, and can be part of people's lives outside of it.
All right, guys. So my pristine auction item for this week, we have OJ Simpson and Al Cowling signed photo from the infamous Ford Bronco police chase. I understand that sounds wild, but we all know what that case was for the generation of individuals that was tuned in to that. And we all know who OJ Simpson is as a football player. So if you're looking to get your hands on this classic item here from that wild chase, make sure you check out Pristine Auction and utilize that code Hobby Talk to get $10 off. Bingo. What you just said, the little goodies around your baby, that's like the clothes, it's helping your brand
Right.
blossom. At the
Yeah.
end of the day, it's all about your brand and what you're trying to do, but taking them extra steps also help benefit what you have going on. So I want to
Totally.
tell back a little bit. First off, so app.
Yep.
Can you explain to me? You're thinking about December
Yep.
when it comes to the app. Any features we need to be looking at? Is there any thought process on how you want to make this transition to where a person just don't download it for the first time, but
Mm-hmm.
like you want them to download this and be able to keep it on their phone? So explain to
Yeah.
me what's different about
We're
this
trying
app.
to absolutely. We're trying to build something that people want to go to every single day. That you wake up in the morning, and I do this, right? I think we're all victims of it. You wake up in the morning, you look at your phone, and you end up clicking into an app. And it's never, for me at least, it's not conscious. I don't wake up and say I'm going to click on Instagram or I'm going to click on Twitter or Reddit or whatever. I just open up my phone in the haze of the morning and I just click on something because it's my habit, and I get into that world no matter what while I'm still in bed. And we
Mm-hmm.
want Mantle to be that thing for people who collect. That when you wake up in the morning, you pick up your phone and you see that green M, and the first thing you do is you click on it to see what people are talking about, see what might have gotten pulled the night before, new releases, something that one of your friends is showing off that they have, that you had a dream overnight about something that you pulled and you want to talk to people about it. We want you to have that moment as soon as you wake up and kind of get into it throughout the day. And as we've had the website, people, we know our data says 70% of the people who come to Mantle are coming from their mobile phone. And it's a pain to go to Internet Explorer, Safari, or wherever,
Oh man,
type in our
yes.
URL, go to the website, interact with people. It's so much easier when it's an app. We also realize that push alerts are a great way that people can say, hey, Doc just posted in Mantle. I want to go see what Doc did, and go click on it and go right into the experience and everything like that. So the way that it operates is like a traditional social media feed, and you can follow creators, you can follow brands, you can follow topics. So, I collect a lot of baseball cards. I collect basketball cards. I collect toys. I collect watches. I collect a bunch of stuff. And so I follow all those topics. And if anybody posts about any of them, I'm going to get them in my feed. And then there's also a latest feed that's chronological. It's every single thing that's hitting the platform. So I see things in the latest feed that I don't personally collect, but could be interesting to me. Stamps and coins and I don't really collect a lot of TCG, so I see that in my latest feed. I'm able to interact with it there. We built something called a mantle piece that lets you put things up on basically your display case of things that matter to you that you want to show off to people. And you can put whether it's something that's in your PC, like this is something that means something to me, tell people why. You could say it's something that you're looking to trade, maybe that you've got it and you're open to trading it, or you can say I'm looking for this thing. I want it, I don't have it, and you're just able to show people what it is. And that's something that lives on your profile. People can click, they can get a better picture of who you are, they can see things that mean something to you, things that are in your collection, or they could say, hey, Doc's looking for this thing, I have it, let's interact, let's figure out a way that we can transact and everything like that. And trading on the platform and interacting with people in that way is only going to get bigger and easier with the mobile app and with people being able to kind of just jump into it every minute of every day when they want to.
I love that. That the platform itself sounds like okay. It comes from just being able to go on social media and see Mantor. You to my website, like now it's in the palm of your hand.
Right.
That's the difference maker. That's what I call taking yourself to the next level,
That's what we
becoming that
hope.
lifestyle brand. I don't know
Yeah.
many companies that have their own app.
Right.
Um, so when
Yeah.
you look at it in that whole retrospect of like what you're doing for the hobby, it all ties back into the master plan of what you're trying to do with Mantle at the end of the day, creating the app, the merch, regardless everything. Now, I do want to get into the collaboration I've been seeing lately on social,
Yeah.
which is on Hoop Nation. If I'm not mistaken, Buster. I got a
Mm-hmm.
chance to meet him once at the National.
Yeah.
Um, Followed him a few years back, been connected, and just been watching the content, watching the growth.
Yep.
How did that happen?
Buster's my guy. He's a good friend. He's a good partner. He's been a part of this business since we launched it, and he is the operator. Owns Hoop Nation, owns Music Nation, other accounts like that, and he runs social media for Mantle. And so when there's a good piece of content that he sees that is interesting to both of his audiences, his music audience, his basketball audience, his Mantle audience, whatever it is, he'll put them together in a post to make sure that as many people can see the content as possible. And we've been really lucky because of that, because we put out a lot of content every day, and a lot
Yes.
of it ends up being basketball content because I'm a basketball junkie. Buster's a basketball junkie. His team's got a lot of guys on his team who love basketball, and so right. And so if there's a cool piece of collecting content, somebody's ripping Mercury or whatever, and they pull a one of one Wemby, of course the Mantle audience is going to care about that because the Mantle audience is a bunch of collectors. But the Hoop Nation audience is all basketball fans, and they may not collect cards, but they might find a Wemby Mercury one of one to be really interesting, and he's able to kind of cross pollinate and take something from the collecting world and introduce it to a lot of people who might not be in the hobby but are huge sports fans, and that's something that I love because he's got such a big audience over there, and if we can get his audience to pay more attention to collecting, to understand what it is that we're doing, and to come on over and hang out, go to the local card shops, go to the National, go to Fanatics Fest, whatever, and get into the hobby, it's better for all of us. And he's got that ability because he has these different audiences that he's been cultivating for years, Mantle being one of them.
Yeah, y'all. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, y'all killing it. Cause when I started seeing the collabs on social, I just started clapping in the
Good.
inside because that's what it's all about. Like seeing two brands of Hoop Nation and Mantle come together to give us just good, genuine content for the hobby, and I
Yeah.
think for any casual fan of sports, collectibles, or whatever it is. I think y'all do it right when it comes to basketball. So I'm loving that. We spoke on the app, and not only the clothing, the things that you are looking to do to take Mantle to another level. How about yourself as a person? What is Evan Parker collecting these days?
I,
Are you
I just
collecting anything? Are you flipping? Are you, you know,
I don't flip.
me
And
either,
I
me
one
either.
of my the hardest thing for me is to actually sell stuff. I buy way more often than I sell, and I end up holding on to things for way too long, and then they lose value. And I've realized lately that the best way for me to collect is just to focus on PC stuff and stop chasing things that might have value, might be hot, because I don't have the ability to go sell them that quickly. I just don't do it, and then I end up sitting on something. Like an example, I for a
Yeah.
few years was looking at baseball prospect rankings, and I'm a huge Dodgers fan, and I would end up going and buying a bunch of Bowman, Bowman draft cards of Dodger prospects, thinking like these guys are gonna go through go to the moon, and I'm gonna have a bunch of their Bowman first and stuff like that. And I realized I have no idea how to prospect a baseball player. I was picking a lot of guys that never made the roster or got traded and everything like that, and I was buying cards that I thought were going to go up in value versus buying cards that I thought really made sense to me because I loved the player. So, getting Miguel Vargas cards 3 or 4 years ago may have sounded like a good idea, but now he's on the 122 loss whatever Chicago White Sox. He's not
White
a Dodger,
Sox.
and he's not a guy that I'm following anymore. And so, what am I going to do with these cards? And now it's too late to sell them. So I've been focusing a lot more on trying to get things that I really PC. I actually picked something up. It's still on my
Mm-hmm.
desk because I haven't done anything with. But this is a 1953 Bowman color. This is Pee Wee Reese, and
Yeah.
I was at LCS not too far away from where I live here in LA, and just talking to the guy, about baseball cards and asking him what he had in the case, if he had anything that was interesting that he thought that people would like. And this thing is, I'm debating. I don't know what your opinion is, if I should even get this graded, because it actually looks pretty cool in the case. It almost looks like a frame, and I think if it has the slab, it might take away from it. But
Yeah.
this thing is probably going to get a PSA 1, right? Like, it's not a great.
Yeah.
There's a crease down the middle. There's some issues with the edging, but this is a card that I don't care if it comes back, if I grade it, if it's PSA 1, if it's an authentic, if it's a 3, I'm holding on to it, and if it goes up or down in value, it doesn't matter because this thing is sticking with me. Pee Wee's not going to get canceled. He's not going to do anything that's going to make me stop liking him now, right? This card's from 1953. He's been dead for a long time. The stuff that he did for the Dodgers, that he did with Jackie Robinson back in the day, is not going to change. The card's going to still be beautiful. And I think that that's, at least as I get older, kind of my shifting mindset with collecting. I say all that, and last night I was ripping Allen and Ginter. 2 nights ago I was ripping Topps Update. I still get the bug, and I still like to rip cards, even though I've got the coldest hand in the entire world. I joke at
Okay.
like the best thing that you could ever do as a collector is walk into an LCS after me and pick up the boxes that I leave behind, because they're guaranteed to have something good. So I'm always kind of going between like trying to get things for the PC that I'm gonna love and never get rid of, and then that like sort of that need to rip packs to try to get something big, to hopefully get something that's gonna have some value. And I'm just hoping that over time it shifts more to the PC stuff and a little bit less to going and doing breaks and ripping packs, because that's where I end up generally ending up with a ton of extra cards that I won't sell,
Yep.
because I just do not like, I don't like the process of selling, and I end up with kind of losing money on that kind of stuff.
I hate to agree with you, man. It's hard for me. I tried to get into the flipping early,
Yeah,
trying to do 100 transactions a
it's tough.
day, trying to, figure out who to invest in, who to
Yeah,
flip, when to do
it's
it.
hard.
When I rather just collect legends. I rather just collect,
Right.
um, and let the hobby be the hobby. But for me and you, like we found something that we felt like we could give to the hobby as well, and be
Mm-hmm.
able to contribute, but also possibly make a living from it.
Mm-hmm.
So for that, man, first I want to give you flowers.
Thank you.
Um,
Same to you, man.
I'm
I love. I
Yeah,
told you before. I like the hustle and seeing you flying, crisscrossing the country, and you said you're going to Canada soon. So I guess
yes, sir.
crisscrossing the continent. It's tough, but when you get to spend all your days talking to people about sports and sports cards and interacting with the good people, I find more people that I meet in collecting to be good than bad. I mean, the internet's a tough place. You get a lot of trolls. That's one of the things that we're really trying to do with Mantle, is just to be a place that trolls don't exist. Like, it doesn't mean that
Yes.
you have to love all the things that I love, and that we have to, just like dance in a circle together, but at the end of the day, we want it to be respectful, and we want it to be a place that people feel comfortable. If you're new to the hobby, if you left the hobby and you're getting back into it and you want to ask questions, if you want to tell people that vulnerable things about your, your knowledge or
Yep.
what you collect, I don't want Mantle to be a place that people feel like they're going to get, people coming down their throats and giving them a bunch of heat for no reason. And so we're really doing our best to make this thing positive and in a place that people feel comfortable, which I think is ultimately, it just doesn't exist enough on the internet. Forget the hobby, it just doesn't exist on the internet.
You don't.
And if we could build something that just you don't feel like you're getting attacked all the time, that's a win.
Hey, taking it from the internet to the palm of the hand. When you're talking about app, I hope nothing but success for you.
Thank you.
I support the brand. You already know. So Dr. Collectible is behind you on whatever you need.
I appreciate
Last but not least, where can the people find you, Evan? And not only that, where can they find, Mantle on social media?
So if you're going to choose anything, find Mantle, don't find me. My stuff's not that interesting on the internet. But we are on Mantle, OnMantel, on all the social networks, Instagram and Twitter, TikTok, Facebook. We're YouTube. We're all in those places. The website is onmantle.com. So,
Yep.
I would love for people to sign up and join. It's completely free. There's nothing that costs any money. You can get on there, get a username. Get a username now while they're easy to get, because at some point somebody's going to have your name and you're not going to be able to get it. But right now it's still early days, and you can hop on and grab a username and interact with good people who like the same things that you like. Follow us on social, download the app from the App Store, come onto the website and hang out. But it's a really cool place. It's growing. It's not, it's not as busy as Twitter and Instagram, but it's going to get there if we
Yep.
all come together and say, hey, the hobby is better if we've got a place that we can go hang out with each other, if we've got something built for us versus that we're just trying to kind of jerry rig to make work. So I'm hopeful that people want to get on board and help us turn Mantle into something really special.
Hey, that's what I love to hear. Everyone that's just tuning in, that's just seeing this video, when this drop, make sure you go check out on Mantle.
Thank you.
Not only that, make sure you check out the merch, what they have going on. Evan, I appreciate everything.
Doc,
I
appreciate
appreciate you giving this audience an outlet to say, hey, come here, check this out. See, have this conversation here. If you're not comfortable with having it on Instagram or Facebook, where there's so many different mindsets, come to Mantle. Everybody here collects. Either we flipping, whatever it is, we're all in the hobby. So for that, man, thank you for your time. And I want to say this. You may have one of the best hats in the hobby next to Dr. Colette, my brother. I'm just going to put that out there. I like Rizzo Sports, and as well,
Yeah,
I love
the corduroy.
I love Bleeker. I love their
Bleeker's been
merch.
an inspiration for a lot of this stuff too. I think what Zablow's done with Bleeker is created some really cool stuff. The Rizzo guys have created
Yes.
cool stuff. I like what Rally Road does. Like, there's some cool brands in the hobby doing some cool things, and we just wanted to be a part of it as like the most recent entrant on the block. But I want to create stuff that I want to wear, right? Like, if I'm not
Yes,
going to wear
sir.
my own merch, then it's not worth giving it to anybody else. So that's been part of it. And we're gonna have new cool stuff coming out around the holidays, and we're just gonna keep dropping stuff because I want to wear it.
Hey, appreciate you hopping on. Thank
Thanks,
you for
Doc.
your
Appreciate you.
time. Yes, everyone, make sure you go check out on Mantle. Not only that, Evan Parker on social. Once again, thank you for your time. And everyone, thank you for tuning in to Hobby Talk. Y'all have a blessed one. All right, everyone, that's it for this week episode. Appreciate everyone that's been tuning in week by week. Appreciate Evan Parker for breaking down what Mantle is all about. If you haven't got a chance yet, make sure you check out that platform when you leave here. And also make sure you check out Pristine Auction. Utilize that code Hobby Talk to get $10 off your first purchase. I'm your boy, the Doc. As always, Hobby Talk. Let's get it.